Naming ionic compounds. There's a systematic way of naming ionic compounds of different metals with a nonmetal. It's important to identify, first, it's an ionic, so you see that there's a metal, whether it's main group or transition, with a nonmetal, whether that's a nonmetal by itself or it can be a polyatomic ion. Ionic compounds are ionic because of transfer of electrons. So the first thing to identify is, do you have a main group metal or a transition metal? Main group, if you look at the periodic table, are all the bigger columns, you could say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 through 8, that's your main group. So when you have one of these that are your metals, then you name it the following way without including the charge. So let's see, KCl. So you have K and then Cl. So you have just a main group metal and a non-metal. So you would name that potassium chloride, ending the name to "ide" at the end. Then, next one, you have Ba, which is over here, so still main group, and then I. There's a little 2 here, though, but because it's ionic, you know that that 2 charge comes from the barium, because it's +2, you know that since it's in the group 2 column. And iodine, we know, is -1, so they switch their charges, just like they did here and with potassium and chlorine as well. So, barium iodide. Then when you get to transition metals, because depending on what nonmetal the transition metal is bonded with, it can change the charge. Transition metals contain more than one charge, so we have to indicate which charge that specific transition metal had. Since you know it's ionic, it's easier to determine because of the transfer of electrons. AuF2. F you see here is in group 7. You know that's a -1 charge. The 2 came from gold, so that's +2. So you would write gold, parentheses, Roman numeral 2, fluoride. And then the same thing for the others. The 2 and the 3 switched. Oxygen is here in group 6, is a -2 charge. That's where the 2 came from. And iron is a transition metal. It has a +3. So you would write iron, parentheses, 3, oxide.